Hello, it's Pastor Penny, and it's Thursday, May 13th, and it is a gorgeous day outside. And there are garage sales everywhere, in case you don't read the advisor. So if you like that sort of thing, you can get out there and have a little fun. So today I'd like to tell you a story about a man named Charles Kettering. He was a brilliant engineer and an inventor, and was once the head of research at General Motors. One day, he made a wager with a friend that if the friend would hang up a bird cage in his house, he would eventually have to buy a bird to put in it. The skeptical friend took the bet. I bought him an attractive bird cage made in Switzerland, Kettering recalled, and my friend hung it near his dining room table. Of course, you know what happened. People would come in and say, "When did your bird die?" "I never had a bird," Kettering's friend would say, only to be asked, "Then why do you have a bird cage?" Finally, despite himself, Kettering's friend decided it was simpler to buy a bird than to keep explaining why he had an empty bird cage in his dining room. Then Kettering would tell his listeners, if you hang bird cages in your mind, eventually you go out and get something to put in them. You like that visual? Have you ever had a glimmer of an idea present itself to you? Perhaps it keeps returning and eventually it resides in your head. Perhaps God is nudging you. Hang in those bird cages. You don't act on this glimmer because you don't have the confidence. But God is persistent and God is patient. God will wait until you're ready to provide the bird for his bird cage. Finally, you find the faith and trust to pursue this idea with the assurance that God provides. And the glimmer grows into a bright light, and the idea blossoms into a plan. And you and God together have put a bird in the cage. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. It's from Jeremiah 29, verse 11. And I know it well. It's often a comfort if I'm getting a little down. The Lord has plans for us all, to prosper us and not to harm us, to give us hope and a future. So remember that, and you can think of God's nudgings, if it helps, as a bird cage that you must fill with your own ideas and thoughts and hopes and dreams. I was with an old friend in Florida last week, and she has a bird that she inherited when her mother passed away a few years ago. And the bird is a cockatoo, I think, rescued by her mother from a abused bird shelter. One of its wings has something wrong with it, so it can't fly. Joey is its name. And he has quite a big and elaborate cage. My friend says it's not a cage, it's his home. Don't call it a cage. And I've never been paid any attention to birds particularly, but Joey has quite a personality. And they have a little routine. And so that is what fills her home, her bird cage, literally. And we had a chance to talk about our hopes and dreams and our futures. So think about that and mostly be open to feeling God's nudges, to hearing God's voice, and to look toward God's plans for us and pursue them. So blessings.